If you're a parent or guardian who needs to send your child on a flight to another city by themselves, this video is for you. I'm going to cover the entire process from determining if you should even send your child on a flight by themselves to the booking process and policies for unaccompanied minors and what to expect on the day of travel. And then I'll leave you with some tips at the end if you're going to be booking a flight for your child as an unaccompanied minor. Let's go.
Dream vacations start here.
So there are plenty of reasons why you may find yourself in a situation where your child may need to fly by themselves as an unaccompanied minor. This could be to see another parent, visit grandparents, or maybe they're heading to a camp. In either case, as a parent, it can be scary to have your child fly by themselves. So before I get into the content, I think it's important to determine first if your child is mentally and emotionally prepared to travel alone. And the reason I say this is because there are plenty of adults who have a hard time flying, let alone flying alone. And as a person who has flown a lot, I've seen my share of scenarios and believe that if your child is not prepared for them, it can have a negative impact for both their mental and emotional state, and even for future flights they might have. So I'll just mention a few scenarios that your child could encounter. The first common one being delays. Will your child understand a delay if one should occur, especially after they boarded the plane? Will they understand that if they're late, there will still be someone at the destination to meet them? Another scenario is that the plane has to divert to another airport. This can be confusing to them if they end up at a different airport than what they were expecting. And another scenario that has been more common lately is how they will handle experiencing an unruly passenger on board. Will your child be able to handle these types of situations without you? If the answer is absolutely no, then perhaps sending them on an airplane by themselves is not a good idea. If you can fly with them at least once or twice before you send them off by themselves so you can walk them through the entire process and these types of scenarios, it'll go a long way in making them feel more confident and comfortable when they have to do it by themselves. So if you made the decision to go ahead and set up an unaccompanied minor service with an airline, here's how that process works. First, every airline has its own policy for transporting unaccompanied minors, but for the most part, they're all fairly similar. But you'll want to look up the policy for the airline your child will be flying on. For most airlines, once your child turns 5 years old, they are eligible to board a plane without a parent or guardian if you pay their unaccompanied minor fee, which can be up to $150 each way in addition to the airline ticket. What you get for paying that fee is some additional supervision, assistance getting on and off the plane, escort to any connections, and assistance in the event of irregular operations. To add this service, you'll need to call the airline directly, as there'll be some additional paperwork that you'll need to fill out. Just note that some airlines will limit the unaccompanied minor service to just direct or nonstop flights if your child is between 5 and 7 years old. And for children over 8, they can be on connecting flights, but you may be limited to certain connecting cities. So once you have set up the unaccompanied minor service with the airline and the flight of your choosing, let's now talk about what the process is for the day of travel. First, you'll want to get to the airport early. You'll need to check in at the airline desk to verify paperwork and be able to receive an escort pass so that you can go through security without a boarding pass with your child. You'll be able to go through security and walk your child to the gate until it's time to board their flight. At boarding time, a flight attendant will come and escort your child to their seat. Just know that the flight attendant does not act as a babysitter for their flight. They will be performing their normal duties, so they will hopefully keep an eye on your child, but they're not going to be providing constant supervision. Once the plane has landed, a designated adult will meet them at the gate by going through the same process of checking in at the airline desk and getting an escort pass to get through security. If your child ends up having a connection, an airline employee will escort them to their next gate and stay with them until a flight attendant is ready to board them. Again, as I said, every airline has their own policy. Some airlines don't provide an escort service at all, while others require the service until a child is 14, and others don't offer it once the child turns 12. So definitely do your research and determine which airline is right for you. So here's some tips for booking a trip for an unaccompanied minor. First, keep the itinerary simple. You want to book nonstop flights whenever possible to keep your child's experience as simple as possible. Also, pay attention to the time of day your child's flight will be on. Buy flights that depart earlier in the day to account for potential delays that might result in missed connections, which would lead to rebookings or would likely require an overnight stay if the connection is missed. Second, choose their seats wisely. You might want to choose a seat as close to the front of the plane as possible, but some airlines actually ask that you seat them in the very last row. Either way, try to have them close to where the crew sits. The next tip I have for you is to provide a way for your child to contact you. Give your child a phone or at least an iPad or something similar to be able to FaceTime you on a Wi-Fi connection. And don't forget to be able to track your child with that device. Give your child a printed out list of emergency contacts and make sure you stay available the entire time until you hear from the person who is picking up your child at the final destination. And the fourth tip I have for you is to track your child's flight. Once your child's flight is in the air, you can track their flight either from the airline's website, or what I like to use is FlightAware. It's free to use and provides a flight tracker map that automatically updates and provides other useful information as well. And hey, if you found this video helpful, check out some of my other videos that might be helpful to you as well. Just click or tap the screen to view them. And let me know if you have any questions by posting those in the comment section of this video. Thank you so much for watching this one, and I can't wait to see you in a future video.